coming to life. I haven't had my coffee yet. So let's make coffee. You can like hear my morning coffee voice, like, and obviously this is the first time I'm talking since waking up. But welcome to the vlog. We'll talk soon. Okay, coffee. Okay, so it is Saturday morning. Happy weekend, friends. Welcome to a slowing down, slow living, self-care prioritization vlog slash weekend in my life. It's been a really busy couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago was my birthday, doing so much stuff over the weekend. Last Saturday I had a raw day, but like I had a lot of work commitments and like photography commitments just all swirled into like one weekend and like week, and I'm still recovering from that, and that is why we are having a very slow weekend so I can rest and recover. And I don't think I'm really gonna do anything outside of the house today. I want to stay inside and read and do hobbies, so we will get to all of the fun things. But first things first, reading. I need to pick a new book because I just finished reading a book last night. Let's talk about it. All right, so I started reading this less than a week ago. It's Spring Fling by Annie England Noblin. This is actually the last book on my spring reading list, so woohoo! Sheila has finished her spring reading list. Does that mean it's summertime? I feel it's still like spring, like it's definitely springtime, but we can start finding summer reads. Yeah, this was meh. It was okay. I ended up giving it a 2-star rating, which is considerably low, and I had to kind of look at my other romance ratings that I've rated recently, or books that I've rated recently, and there were some books that I rated 2.5 that I definitely liked better than this book, so that's where we came with the 2-star rating. I think the whole concept and plot and characters and like blueprint of the story is great. It just wasn't executed very well. Like for how short this book was, it was under 300 pages, but it just felt like it dragged, and I was just like forcing myself to finish it. And I mainly listened to this on audiobook, like on my way to work, which held my attention obviously better than sitting down and like just focusing all of my, you know, brain power reading it. So that also tells you that it was definitely a lower rating for me. And I just feel like the characters fell short. The romance was, I think the romance was what ultimately, like, this is a romance book and the romance was not romancing. The two characters like went to high school together and were like best friends, and then the guy moved away, and then he like somehow moves back 10 years later, and the girl is still living in this small town in Arkansas, and they like immediately like just start, you know, hooking up. There wasn't really any like communication or like emotional connection time like in the timeline of the story. It just was very quick, like, you know, we're just picking off where we left off, even though we were like 18 when we last saw each other, and now we're like grown adults with like full lives. Like, it just not believable. And then there was just some weird side character stories in here that I feel like didn't need to be in there as much as it was, or there could have been other time spent like fleshing out actual, you know, character like development. So I don't know if I necessarily would recommend this. I think if you're just interested in a cute small town romance that's very surface level, very flat, and you go in with those expectations, you might like this book, or at least you won't hate this book. But I went in with very low expectations. I just really liked the cover and wanted, like, again, a very, like, this wasn't even like cheesy. Like, there can be good cheesy, like the Lori Gilmore like books, the Pumpkin Spice Latte. Like, I definitely enjoyed those books better than this because they were more engaging, and even though they were like cheesy, they just held my attention way more, and there was more spice, which definitely holds my attention more than if like everything else in the book is faltering. And then there was a little bit of spice in here, but even those moments didn't really, like, even though the writing of those moments was not that great either. So I don't know. That's where I'm leaving off with this book. But now I'm very, very excited to read a new book. Let's find a new book. So I've re-upped my TBR cart pile. So these are all books that have come in recently or are in my immediate TBR, I guess, within the next months or so. So I'm not really sure like what I want to read. This is new and exciting, like trying to find your next read. It is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander month of May. So we could read a book by an Asian author. We have Welcome to the Hyunam-dong Bookshop by Hwang Bo-Reum and Zodiac Rising by Katie Zhao. This might be one of my contenders to start reading. I don't know. There's just too many options. And then a lot of other ones. We also have A Song to Drown Rivers by Anne Leong. I want to read this in June. I don't know. I feel like wedding season is just like June for me. So I will like, this is definitely a summer book. But some of these are like spring summer books. I really want to read The Sirens too. I'd love to start that one, but I don't know. I think we need to honor the Asians. So I'm gonna like start reading these two and see like what catches my attention, what is drawing me in, and then we will see. We'll see.
Listening Library presents Zodiac Rising by Katie Zhao. Evangeline Long. I'm going to rob them, and then I'm going to kill them. Chinese name, Long Yinor. House, dragon. Supernatural designation, vampire.
All right, friends, it's been a little while. We've done our initial reading research to figure out what we want to read. Broken Country is definitely off my list, at least for this week. This is like a contemporary fiction. It's described in the like summary as a sweeping love story with the pace and twist of a thriller, which I love that. I think I'm going to save this though, like for later in this month. Like, this is just feeling more of like an early summer read for me, where I want to like be outside, and I love family dramas and like love story dramas in summertime. So we're gonna save this. So that leaves us with Welcome to the Hyunam-dong Bookshop and Zodiac Rising. So I read the first chapter of this Bookshop book, and I can immediately tell that I'm gonna really, really love this. Like, it's felt very cozy and lighthearted and like whimsical, and it's, you know, about a bookstore and all those like fuzzy, good, cozy feelings that you need sometimes out of a book. Whereas Zodiac Rising is a YA urban fantasy, and it's described as for fans of Legendborn. There's dark academia elements, it takes place in Manhattan, there's supernatural elements. So I read quite a little bit of this just to get the feel of the world and the characters and just like what I'm getting myself into. So the prologue set us up with the history and like backstory of how this world came to be and how there are these descendants that were cursed upon by this big monster. It also talked a little bit about like Chinese history, which I really thought having that incorporated in this book will make it more interesting for me for sure. And then I read the first chapter, which really sets us up for the plot and the story. I think I'm gonna continue reading this today at least to see how far I can get. I'm really intrigued, and camera battery died, but as I was saying, I think I'm gonna continue reading this today just to see how far I can get and how into the story I can get. And then I'm definitely gonna be reading this one, like these two, this whole week, like simultaneously. So I think we're gonna do like a double book week, guys. But I wanna see how far I can get in Zodiac Rising, and I've been listening to it on audiobook as well to help me pronounce the different Chinese names and words. And that's really fun too. And there's like two different narrators, since there's a lot of different characters in here. So we get the flip-flopping. So it's been very fun and engaging so far. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, and then maybe we'll switch to this. I don't know. This feels so cozy. I want to like jump back into it now that I'm like looking at it. Oh, and I completely forgot. I put up an Instagram poll to like y'all vote on what I should read next. So let's like check in on the results just to see how that is going in comparison to where I am going. Oh, it's neck and neck between Zodiac Rising and Welcome to the Hyunam-dong Bookshop. So it's still 50 and 50 between the two. And I threw Broken Country in as like an outlier, just to kind of mix things up a bit, but I was curious, you know, to start this, but I think I just am gonna wait on that, like I said earlier. So we'll keep an eye on the polls and see what the people say. I made it to part 2 of Zodiac Rising, which is page 148. So a little less than halfway done. I'm enjoying it, guys. I'm enjoying it. It's really good so far. So we're gonna take a reading break because it's hobby time. So I've complained about how my afternoons can be a mental struggle for me to get through, and I know I need like more hobbies and things to do, like besides reading. I just took a walk, which was awesome. Now let's start some new cozy hobbies. So I'm gonna start with putting this Lego set together. It is Animal Crossing Celeste little stargazing scenery. I mentioned this in my birthday vlog. George got it for me for my birthday, and it feels simple enough for me to try and not overwhelming because it's a low amount of pieces with only 78 pieces, and it's like small that I could just leave it together and put it on my desk as a decor or put it out here in the living room. I don't know, we'll see what it looks like. But yeah, I'd like to try and get into Legos. I don't know about the large ones because those seem really overwhelming, but let me know if you're into Legos and like what your favorite sets are. And if you were also overwhelmed like me, if you have any tips or comments that would make me feel less overwhelmed. I don't know, maybe I'll be totally converted after this one and be like going out to get a 500 piece one. I don't know. So we have that. And then George got me this alcohol marker set for my birthday. It was on my wish list of birthday things I wanted, and it's from the brand Ohuhu, the Honolulu alcohol markers. So I got the 48 piece set with the brush and chisel, because there's also like a brush and a fine point. I just went with the chisel one for like the highlighter vibe. And I don't know, I think we're just gonna go through, I think what I just wanna start with is going through and coloring the color swatches, because that'll be like fun and soothing. And then George also got me a alcohol marker sketch pad thing. Like, this paper is thick. I think it's 200 GSM, because we know alcohol markers bleed. I want coloring books that are like thick paper for alcohol markers, so let me know if you know of any like cozy ones. And here's a little like bleed through matte thing. And the set also came with like a matte too. It's like a little bit smaller than this one. I want to get into alcohol markers and coloring, so here we are. And then lastly, I have, oh, here's another coloring book. This I got from Indie Bookstore Day. Now these pages are definitely very thin for alcohol markers, but maybe I'll, I don't know, use colored pencils for that. And this is like a little word puzzle booklet with different like crossword puzzles and maybe some other like fun little puzzles, but that's super cute. All the cozy hobbies. Let's start with Legos though. We'll start with the Legos. My like inner child is like kind of screaming right now just seeing this little booklet. As a kid, I like have played with Legos obviously, but I wasn't like super into Legos, but I was really into Playmobil. Like, shout out to anybody that remembers Playmobil. Like, you can still buy it, but I wanted all the Playmobil sets and they're so expensive. Like, so I could only get like the small ones. Like, my mom, we would go to Learning Works and I'd be like, I want this, and like I always had to get like a small, like under $10, like $4.99, $5.99 sets. So this is just bringing back, it's like kind of unlocked something in my brain and my heart. We have instructions for my very overwhelmed self. Oh look, there's theoretically 27 steps. Can you even see that? Cute. All right, let's try this. I'm already done, friends. I feel like this took me like less than 15 minutes to put together. So it's definitely not overwhelming for me at all. And now I'm just ready for something bigger, I guess. So that's the natural Lego pipeline, right? We're ready for more. But this is cute. I wish I could like let her, like her legs bend because I want her to like sit, but she can't. And then she can't really stand. I guess if I put her up here, if I put her on one of these things, maybe she'll stand. There we go. It's super cute. At least this way I can carry it together and put it somewhere, but how fun! These are also extra pieces, so that's nice in case I somehow lose them. I'm sure there's like a lot of storage things on the market for Legos, but let me know if you're an avid Lego person, like how you store these. I'm gonna just stick them in a Ziploc bag for now probably, but I'm sure there's a better way to do that. All right, I think I'm ready for coloring now. So, break these bad boys out. Coloring swatches. Yes. Look at my swatches. I definitely like swatch 2 because of all the greens and blues. I just love all the green markers. They just make me feel so calm and soothed. And then this is me just, you know, self-care. This is just self-care right here. The feeling of just like coloring big shapes and coloring it all in feels so nice. I'm not even gonna attempt to really draw anything. I tried to look up Pinterest tutorial, or I was on Pinterest looking for alcohol markers, and there was like video tutorials, and I tried doing one to like make grass. So that is my attempt. But I don't want to like go into this with that kind of mindset. I just want to like color. So that's why I feel like I need a coloring book. So I can just color in the lines and outside of the lines. Of course, I didn't film an outro, friends, so editing Sheila here, saying hello, goodbye. Hope you enjoyed this video, slowing down, doing some new hobbies. I want to do some more Legos, so let me know some Lego recommendations or ones that you've done that I might like. And we'll see. We will see what happens. I'm also still reading Zodiac Rising, and pretty good dent in it. It's like the middle of the week. I got a good chunk right over the weekend. I did not start reading the other book that I said I was gonna try and read simultaneously with this one. I don't know, like, just not in the mood for it. Like, there'll be a time when I'm just like in the mood for that and need like something to make me feel better. But right now we're loving the fantasy. We're loving it, and I have a lot of other books that I can start reading, as you saw earlier in this video. So yeah, just want to sign off, let you guys know I appreciate you. Thank you for being here and watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.